What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Derek,
I'm Kevin.
and we are last week's album. We're bringing you two opinions on the best new music. And this week, we're talking about Cool It by Sam Cohen. And we're asking the big question, is this band leader better solo or with a group? But before we go any further, we're going to start things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Kevin. Cheers, everyone at home.
Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
All right, so Sam Cohen is a Brooklyn-based singer, songwriter, and producer, originally from Houston, Texas. He was previously the founder and member of Apollo Sunshine, which was in existence from 2001 through 2009, and was then the founding member of what started out as a solo project and then became a band, the Yellowbirds, and that band just broke up. He's been involved in numerous side projects, recording sessions with for CeeLo and Norah Jones, among many others. Very active guy, but this is his first solo debut with Cool It. So let's jump to what it sounds like. Kevin, what do you think?
So active. You mentioned Derek is very active. Is he perhaps so active he needs to cool it with this album?
I think he does.
Fittingly so, because he did play almost every instrument on the album, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, what does it sound like? I think it sounds like the Beatles chilling out with temples. What do you think, Derek?
I like it. I think Cool It sounds like taking a time out at a planetarium, rocking Grateful Dead-inspired tunes, and a light show.
And a light show. I like
Of course, I feel like you'd have to be wearing sunglasses at the same time, but that was a little too much for one simple sounds like. So that brings us to key tracks. Kevin, what did you have?
I'm going with track number 7, which is called Kepler 62. What about you?
That's a good one. I'm actually going with The Garden, which is track 3, so I'll kick us off. The Garden kind of starts with these fuzzy electric guitar chords, a groove and bass guitar, a steady bass snare cymbal drum beat, and kind of a shrill electric guitar lead that enters during the intro and kind of makes an appearance later on. Subtle synths enter in the second verse, kind of adding another layer here. It's kind of unorthodox and structurally here, as the choruses kind of just goes into this instrumental phrase with some vocal doo-doos. And there really are no other words. So a wordless chorus here, if you will, to borrow a phrase from My Morning Jacket. At the 2:25 mark, it really kind of enters, the show-stealing guitar solo enters in. And overall, I really kind of liked the lyrics here. Is kind of a dark, cynical view on things. At the same time, juxtaposed against the imagery of a garden here. He talks about playing in bands and stuff. He says, went to your house on Friday, drank a few beers. We played the gig on Sunday for the past 6 years. Practice at two-car garage, smoke around the kids. They're going to learn someday, if someday ever is. So I just really kind of liked how everything came together here. Just a really solid track on The Garden.
Yeah, those doo-to-doos you mentioned actually remind me of the song Take a Walk on the Wild Side by Velvet Underground. So definitely nice sound there. And yeah, I'm going to go with number 7, though, which is called Kepler 62, which, fun fact, is a star in the constellation Lyra that's a little cooler and smaller than the sun, if you can be cooler than the sun. But yeah, it's got this very spacey lead guitar, this crunchy rhythm guitar, pulsing organ, bump and bass, really chill vocals. There's this trippy break about halfway through that takes the dreaminess up to 11. And I don't know, I feel like it has this theme of saying goodbye to some people and welcoming in others, which maybe plays with that constellation and stars and gravity and stuff. But yeah, just a great example of his psychedelic pop style. So definitely check out that track.
Absolutely, that was a good one. And that brings us to Best Lyric. Kevin, when you're done sipping your beer, why don't you share what yours was with us?
Yeah, I'm going with a line from Midnight Conqueror, and it's pretty simple. He just says, I splinter badly. And in the context of the song, he kind of repeats it a few times. And I think it just kind of sums up the record rather well. He splinters off in a lot of different directions, and most of it's still pretty focused under pop and psych, a little bit of electronica, a little bit of folk. But although he says he splinters badly, I think he splinters greatly on the album overall. So, what line were you digging, Derek?
I'm taking one from album opener, Let the Mountain Come to You. And he says, there's a mountain, but no mountaintop. To climb the mountain, you chop the mountain up. And I just really liked the imagery, the even the outlandishness of it, which there's like a reasonableness almost behind the ridiculousness, which I think kind of envelops a lot of sounds here. So that brings us to the overall rating, and the question is this band leader better solo or with a group? So Kevin, why don't you start us off and in any order there?
Sure. I'll start off with overall rating. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. I give him a lot of credit. He plays just about every single instrument on this album, like I mentioned earlier. The guitar work is especially stellar. It's very fitting and apropos on each different track, the way he explores guitar. Thought it's a great mix of pop and psychedelia without leaning too hard in one direction or the other. I really like the second half of the album. I thought it kind of livened up and got even spacier. And something that a lot of artists kind of tend to forget to do is keep it going during the second half of an album. And say hi to our cat, Lily, everyone. But anyway, I do wish the tracks and lyrics and had more stories and concepts behind them. I felt like the lyrics and the themes kind of got lost in a lot of the music. And is he better solo or with a group? I think he's better solo. I think his solo work has a lot more grit than some of his like glossier and smoother stuff with other bands. But what do you think, Derek?
I'm agreeing with you in terms of like the range he displayed here, from the psych rock of album opener Let the Mountain Come to You, the slow R&B groove of Unconditional Love, to the bare bones Americana blues of Don't Shoot the Messenger, and the slow shower of synths on El Dorado. I only mention that because I wanted to say that alliterative phrase. Another thing I agree with in kind of a different respect here, I thought a lot of the individual sounds, especially kind of the guitar effects, were used pretty frequently. Sometimes the shrill, abrasive sounds, but at the same time, you used them in very different background tones. And so, I thought that was really interesting the way he did that. I totally agree with you. I think he's definitely better solo as compared to a group. It's really nice to kind of see him explore some of these sounds. And so with that being said, I'm giving it an overall rating of 4 out of 5. So there, in aggregate, you have 7 out of 10 from both Kevin and I there. And so you should go check this one out if you feel like spacing out. Cool It by Sam Cohen. Don't forget to subscribe to us here at Last Week's Album, where we're bringing you 2 opinions on the best new music. And as always, I'm Derek.
And I'm Kevin. See you next time, guys.
Cheers.